Now the question is, who's going to play quarterback for Indiana? Do you have a
That's
guess?
exact segue. Well, I've been saying the same thing all along, but also I've been saying it as a guess because usually whatever I say, it's the opposite.
Yeah.
I've said Connor Bazelak rather, all along because I think that this offense is going to have to be one that has some movement,
Mhm.
the ability to move around, and I don't see that as being Jack Tuttle. I think that it's going to have to be a very quick hitting offense, and I don't see that again as Jack Tuttle. I that is the more style that um,
Bazelak.
Bazelak has played. He's already been successful. He was a freshman of the year in the SEC, co-freshman of the year in the SEC.
Right.
So
And
he's
he
been
can move
through.
around some, right? He can move around
Yes.
some.
Oh yes,
I
he's
haven't
more
seen him play.
much more mobile, and he's been through some SEC wars. As he's been through more, he has more experience to me than Tuttle really has.
Yeah.
Um, so it's just a guess, and I just think that, especially since Tom Allen is not over there on the offense, or he's kind of removed himself completely. It seems like I think there's more of a fresh look, and it's going to
Mhm.
be the guy. Not It's not going to go to a guy who, because he's been here for 3 years.
Right. Right. No,
And
I thought Jack Tuttle would have a good year last year, but I mean I thought that so many things happened. I mean, they lost so many people. The offensive line was a total disaster, if memory serves. Um, I'm not sure how great of a chance he ever really had playing behind that group, but yeah, I'll be curious to see Bazelak. I mean, that first game, that's going to tell you a whole hell of a lot. And as Tom Allen pointed out last week, he's going to get a chance to watch Illinois and Western Kentucky. And what's the other team they're playing?
Idaho,
Idaho. Going to get to see them in week 0, which sounds weird to me. But
it's
they,
because it's because it's stupid.
exactly, exactly. And so they'll have a chance to see all these teams and get a little bit of a scouting report on them.
Yeah, and we've talked about that, Dustin. That's the one thing that um, Illinois will not have. They're not
Right.
going to have. They have zero film on this particular Indiana team, other than the line. They can watch the line because it's the same guys there. Uh, the defense is the same, but but a lot of the players are different. You've got Tom Allen on the call now. Offensively, I'm just going to guess it's just going to be a no huddle, a quick hitting offense, which they don't have the plays to plan for. But I think that is I think that has to be it is a forget the word I'm looking for,
An
but
advantage. I mean,
yes, it is an
what the
advantage.
hell's going on with you this morning, Coyle? Wake up.
Not, not more coffee, more coffee. But I think that it is, and it might be just enough. And Tom Allen, being a defensive coach, he knows. I'm like, he's like, hey, I think he would hate to go into a game with this little information.
Right, right. Yeah. No, I mean, look, to me, they're a 5-win team. I mean, I think they'll more than double up what they did last year. But I mean, this is a total mystery team. I mean, they could be pretty good. They could be god awful like last year. I mean, this is a very mysterious team with so many transfers, so many guys in, so many guys out. I don't think we know what we got with this group.
Well, I've talked about that. I don't see them as being a bowl team.
No.
Based off of last year, based off of what I do know. But if, and only if they can beat Illinois, and then all of a sudden now you're 3-0 for sure. Right. They're going to go 3-0. Well, now you're going to Cincinnati and playing a road game that's, while it's a road game, I don't know it's as tough as it sounds as it was if this would have been last year's Cincinnati team. and they should have beat that team last year. But if you're 3-0 and you have that kind of momentum, if you're playing well, I don't know that they can't go there and beat Cincinnati. Now you're 4-0.
I do.
You don't think that even if they're playing well that they can go to Cincinnati and win?
No. I mean, I realize that they don't have their quarterback anymore. Was it Ritter? But that program has really built itself into a powerhouse, and
they're doing very well.
They're really good, and so no, I don't see Indiana going on the road and beating Cincinnati, but that's
a win that I think that they would need to have. But anyway, regardless of that, yesterday Tom Allen met with the media, and here's what Bob asked Tom.
I think that it's easy to forget 2019. I think everybody wants to say, 2020 had its unique qualities about it for everybody. And I think one of the reasons why we were able to elevate ourselves in that time period was the strength of our culture. I think guys stayed together. Guys, amidst a very difficult situation, they kept themselves relatively healthy as far as staying, on the field and not missing too many times from just maybe being, not following the protocols of stuff. And guys stayed with us. We didn't have the opt-outs. We, you just had a strong group of guys that just kind of through all the adversity of everything that was going on in the country, everything was going on physically, you just kept doing this as a program. And so, and you had the year before that was, a breakthrough opportunity for our program. So those really kind of built up into this. And then obviously 21, happened. And then sometimes I think, just being real, injuries are real. They affect your team. I can't sit here and act like it doesn't. It's a variable and it's not an excuse. It's reality. And sometimes it's who it is, and you lose the wrong guy, too many of the wrong guys. And that to me is really where, if we didn't have all those things happen, the numbers have been documented, but if we didn't have all those situations, I probably don't know if I could say it with that much confidence, because then you say, what, I don't know what the heck happened, but you lose some critical guys at critical spots that affect your team. And then you start, we're already at we got to play at a fever pitch, with the schedule we play. And the schedule was not friendly. The beginning of the schedule was very, very challenging. That makes it even harder. You want to get some that early momentum and confidence built. We were able to do that the last 2 years, the 19 and 20 season, we had that. And so that's big. We weren't able to get that last year. So that was another variable. And then you start having, that hits you, as well as, you lose some close games, you lose some players, and then it just really kind of snowballs on you. So that to me, and I think we got a great culture. I think we have a lot, no place is perfect. But I think we attract guys that believe in what we're doing and they fit with us, both coaches and players. And you have some turnover now and you'll be able to see, I guess 2022 is going to kind of show you, what was the outlier? Was it 20 or 21, so, and I think that's in front of us. And so we're excited to be able to embrace that. And I can't wait to get 2022 started here next Friday.
Did he kind of just paint himself into a box with that? We'll see what the outlier was. As soon as I heard that, I was like, oops.
I just cringed when I heard that.
Yeah, me too. I was like, ow, man,
what did he say that's not true though?
Well, no, nothing, but
hold on, though.
You don't point your
no,
yourself.
But I don't understand why does one of those have to be the out? Like, why can Indiana not be what it was between 2017 and 19?
2020, all right, I will argue with anybody all day long that 2020 wasn't an outlier, but it was affected by the fact that there was not 100,000 people at Ohio State Stadium.
Right.
I can promise you that. They don't make that comeback and do what they did, and probably should have won that damn game. They turned the ball over twice in the freaking red zone, and you had a pick six. But that doesn't happen if that crowd's there. That's a difference, I will guarantee you.
The pandemic year was undoubtedly unique. I feel like this team, I think the real team here is the team that we saw from 17 to 19, especially 19. Uh,
Yeah.
I think last year was an outlier, and I think that the year before was an outlier
That's what I'm saying.
because of the pandemic. You had Penn State off to the worst start in forever. Wisconsin was nothing special. Michigan State had really bad down years.
But they should have beaten Michigan. Gosh, they had lost a double overtime game. They had
Right.
lost another game. They had lost to them recently in games in every way fashionable that they simply shouldn't have. I don't know if that helps because everybody talks about this
Oh,
that losing mentality, and now let's see if that helps or not. Get past it, but if it's not, then it's not always a mentality. Sometimes it comes down to coaching mistakes.
well, I mean, I'd be curious what your thoughts are on this, but I've had a lot of people reach out to me and say, well, um, maybe Tom Allen isn't the right guy. Damn, man, we've gone through 120 years of not the right guy. Let's commit to somebody, and he has shown that he can get this team to a bowl game. I mean, they've done it a number of times, and so even if they struggle this year, to me, Tom Allen is a guy they need to stick with. Does he make coaching mistakes? Yes. Does he get too excited on the sideline and lose his mind? Yeah, he does. But this is Indiana, where this is not Michigan, and you can't jump around and look for a savior every 4 or 5 years. One of the problems with Indiana football, one of the reasons that IU football is the losingest program in the history of college football, is they don't stick with anybody.
Yeah.
That's my
Well,
thought.
Well, I agree, and that's why I say. I mean, I understand that if Indiana is 2-10 again, I understand some of the criticism
Yeah.
about Tom Allen. But at the same time, to me, when you look at the history of the program, when you say what you just said, the losingest program in college football, 5-7, 5-7, 8-5, 6-1, you get back-to-back bowl games. To me, what more do you want if you're an Indiana fan than to be on the cusp of bowl eligibility heading into the rivalry game against Purdue? Like, to me, that when you look at the history, and the other thing is I understand too, people maybe say that Tom Allen does too much on the sideline or he's too much focused on the culture. But as you mentioned, Bob, this isn't Ohio State or Michigan. You have to be different to be able to recruit at Indiana. You can't, to me, people have tried to be the Michigan coach at Indiana. People have tried to be the Oklahoma coach at Indiana. It doesn't work.
Doesn't work.
I understand people are frustrated by 2021, but when you look at, there hasn't been a season like that for Indiana. They've been right kind of down the middle of the road under Tom Allen. I think he deserves at least a little bit of a break because he mentioned they dealt with a ton of injuries last season.
And look at their recruiting. I mean, the recruiting for the 2022 class is the best they've ever been, maybe in school history, certainly since they started keeping track of these things, grading recruiting classes. So the players are there.
Right.
It's just going to take some time. And again, if they can go 5-7, I don't know how many games they got, but if they can win 5 games, I think that would be, and put themselves in a position where they can reach a bowl game by beating Purdue at the end. I think you look at that and say, okay, yeah, that's fine.
I completely agree.